Thanks for joining us for a special episode of A Better Conversation on site. We're here with Ms. Diane Benjamin, who's running for the Dallas City Council in Place 13. Diane, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure,
Well,
Chris. I've known you a long time, and anything you do, I want to be a part of, just about.
thank you. Feel the same way. You've been a big part of the Dallas community for a long time, and I'd like to give you an opportunity to tell our audience here what you've done, what's your history, why are you running for the city council?
Okay, this is a very good question because number one, apparently it's a good question. Everybody keeps asking me, why am I doing this? Number one, I lead by example. I have 7 sons, 16 grandchildren, 3 great grandchildren, and there's no word for retired. I have encouraged my children to be actively involved in their community, whether it's at school, and my sons have been presidents of the senior classes, and just completely encouraging them to be involved and active. And of course, I can't do that unless I myself am an example for them. I have served the city for many, many years. By the way, I'm an active realtor. I'm what we call a veteran realtor. I've been serving the needs of buyers and sellers for over 46 years, and I've taught classes in diversity and comparative properties and so forth. I have been on the government affairs legislative for Texas Real Estate Commission. I've been down to Austin to help lobby for property rights for my customers and for people who are consumers of property, and to make sure, as I've taken a vow, that their properties shall be appreciated with God's help and not be subject to rezoning and issues of that nature. I have served as a commissioner for the environment and health for the city of Dallas for 8 years, and I was a commissioner for seniors affairs as well for the city of Dallas. And also I have become involved in crime prevention. Tragically, my husband's first wife was raped and murdered by a dope addict, and that basically put me on notice to really get actively engaged in understanding crime and in crime prevention. And in turn, I have been involved at North Central Dallas Police Station, having served under 3 different chiefs, Chief Click, Chief Kunkel of blessed memory, and Chief Ellison, on their Crime Watch executive boards. I started our Homeowners Association on my kitchen table in the wake of driveway shootings. And I myself have been a victim. I was robbed at gunpoint in my backyard, having been followed home from Tom Thumb, and managed to get that fella in jail for 45 years, unless, of course, the current DA took him out already. I don't know. But in any event, crime prevention has been my passion to educate my community, how important it is to take an active role. And everyone knows that on my signature, on my emails, it says the best weapon against crime is a good neighbor. And I truly believe that is so important that when you know a neighbor's garage door is open, that you take a moment and alert your neighbor and help with making sure that there aren't newspapers on the lawn when they're out of town. And just taking a part of your community is so, so important to helping crime prevention. And also, I've been in Israel, and I've been given appreciation by the head of the police in Jerusalem, by the way. Gave me a Israeli police cap. Who in this world are better and more expert at being expert at crime prevention, terrorism,
Absolutely.
and then Israel. And actually, they've come to the different police stations around the United States and helping to educate.
Well, I mean,
that's another thing that I've been involved with. So through the years, they call me actually Private Benjamin at the police station for my active work there. So I've
It sounds like that's not the
enjoyed.
appropriate rank. It sounds like you're Lieutenant Benjamin or Assistant Chief Benjamin or something like that at this
Well,
point.
no, that's from the old
Oh, I,
movie, Goldie Hawn. But in any event, I'm proudly serve my community in educating about crime prevention, as well as recognizing that the city of Dallas, the crime stats are skewed, they're not accurate, and crime is pervasive. It continues in Dallas, and we are ranked the number one in the entire United States when it comes to human trafficking, and this is a hub for all kinds of crime. And here we have a chief of police who is not adhering to the ICE mandate, and these are critical issues that I'm concerned about.
Hey, did you know about our conversations on social media? You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Following us will not only keep you up to date on our latest podcast drops, but will also keep you informed on current events around DFW, including election news, volunteer opportunities, and social events like late cleanups on Saturday mornings or our happy hours throughout the month where you can meet like-minded people in a fun social setting. You can also meet local politicians and activists that are our guest speakers. Follow the links below to connect.
well, I have to ask because I'm curious. I see you've got a whistle here. You've got this yellow whistle. Would you
Yes,
mind telling us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, I decided that, I'm hearing from so many people how older people, even guys, are afraid to go to the supermarket. When they get into their car, somebody could be taking a woman's purse from the passenger seat while they're going into their car and the car is unlocked. Women are afraid to go to the beauty shop and being accosted or travel or being followed home, just as I was. A neighbor of mine was followed home as well from Tom Thumb, and he was robbed at his garage. As well. It's crime is pervasive. It's something we have to deal with, and one of the major issues, of course, is the fact that we are very, very low in the number of police that we need to have to serve our city. We need 4,000 police. We're currently under 1,000 necessary police that are needed, and I am actually going to be very, very supportive of the police to make sure that they're paid a good fee to encourage them to come to serve in Dallas. And right now they're like number 16 of 21 North Dallas, North Texas cities that are experiencing, we have lowest pay, number 16 on that.
That's what I'd heard that. I talked to somebody really recently who'd been to a job fair, and they said, yeah, you had all these other, like the DFW airport's police force. You had all these suburbs, and Dallas was the lowest paying of all of them at this
Yeah.
career fair.
So
Like,
what is-
how do you recruit that way?
What is the incentive? What kind of incentive would it be for somebody to come here? First of all, the police officers can't live in Dallas. They can't afford to live here. And so they travel quite a bit from outer communities in the country, and not even the suburbs, in the country. Many of them live out in the country and come into Dallas. And what is the incentive if they're not even being paid properly? And, many of them, luckily, their wives may be working and they're school teachers or whatever. And that's why they serve in Dallas, because they have the children maybe going to school here or whatever. And many of the police officers are afraid to even issue arrests
Right.
because they're being targeted as well. So we need to do something about this. This is a serious concern. It's number one priority of mine is making sure that our city is fully staffed and that we have a good retention program and that we have the best education for our police officers as well, and in wonderful, suitable facilities where they can learn and do their different phases of their learning.
The number you talk about numbers, the number that always hits me about Dallas is, on average, it's 13 minutes with an emergency call. Like a level one, someone is kicking in my door, holding me gunpoint in my backyard. The average response time is 13 minutes.
That's terrible. I mean, it's horrible, and yet it's amazing because the highest number of requests for police in is in the worst parts of Dallas, where the police aren't even respected.
Right.
You know, this is something that we need to do again: is teach people to learn to respect. I don't know. They certainly earn our respect, but the most calls for police attendant is in the worst parts of town, and people don't like the police, and that's something that we need to change. We need to change that.
Well, it's clear that fighting crime, preventing crime is very high on your priorities. What are some of the other things that the city of Dallas is facing that you're focused on?
Okay. Well, the fiscal responsibility, that's always very important because we have a city that has a very bad spending habit. We have a spending problem here. We have very poor leadership with our, I'm going to say this, our past city manager who manages the city and hires and fires. He was given a nice severance pay when he was left his position before he was fired, and the new city manager is a protege basically, and worked with him, and she also worked with Renee Hall, who was a fired city chief of police. So we have a whole consortium there of bad blood.
Doge the city, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the city that manages our city. And we have, there's a wasteful spending when we have allocated, and I haven't read the city budget for next year entirely, but I plan to do a deep dive once I'm elected as city council for District 13. I'm planning to do a deep dive into our budget and cut out wasteful spending, such as $600 million that's being allocated to count trees. I'm a country girl. I was raised on a 50-acre farm in New York State. And so I'm very much appreciative of trees and greenery and so forth, but this is wasteful spending when we could be utilizing those funds to pay for new police officers and educating them. Also, I understand that they have an allocation of money to put up art in dog parks, and that's ridiculous. I mean, we need to prioritize our spending and to accommodate the necessary need for safety and security and bring back some just decency in our communities.
Well, one of the concerns or one of the complaints, more accurately, I've got friends that live in 13, and one of their big complaints is, well, why does it seem like nothing's ever being spent in our district to improve the roads, to improve our alleyways, to do any of that sort of stuff? It seems like money is flowing everywhere else in the city but to our own district.
Well, sadly, we are still under the DEI. And this is a big, major concern. Our city is following DEI, and and people are being the communities that are being given first service to is based not upon necessarily on priority of need, but by diversity and inclusive. And this is not this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. People should be receiving, jobs based upon their merit, and the city should be serving those communities that are in the worst need and not based upon any type of demographics.
Right. It's just insanity to me. I mean, they do road usage studies. I mean, the city knows what roads are used the most. Why those wouldn't be the prioritized roads?
Somebody just sent me a picture of my opponent, Gay Willis's her sign right next to a very big pothole, and that pothole was right in a bike path. And so, I mean, it was just awful to think that anybody riding a bike who would normally feel protected, they have a bike path, that the bike path itself was in just dire need of maintenance. Our city has not maintained the maintenance of our infrastructure is atrocious. We have deferred maintenance. We have a convention hall that has to be replaced because the previous city manager did not recognize the need to put in a new roof on our existing convention center. And in order to get to our convention center, the new $3 billion convention center that is being planned, you have to maybe destroy your car on the roads in order to get there. And the city is not conducive to welcoming tourism. And we have businesses that are leaving downtown Dallas because of the fact that it's not safe. And we have, of course, the homeless people and a lot of concerns that must be attended to. And I plan to help to look into these matters as seriously and try and solve them.
Well, so I don't want to take too much of your time because we're going later into the night, but one big question that I think a lot of people are asking, a lot of people want to know the answer to: what is it about you as a candidate, you as a future city council person, that is different, better, separates yourself from your opponent?
Well, I would say that I'm a listener. And it's imperative that a city council person, number one, listens to his or her constituents. We are the voice for we the people. We are not masters of the city, and many people who take on the duty of being a city council person are impressed with their power or their position, and they're not serving their constituents by listening to their needs. A perfect example is in my district, we had a piece of property that was supposedly sold, belonged to a church, and the neighborhood was excited about the fact that it was going to be utilized as a library to enhance the neighborhood further, where people are buying houses and it's a beautiful neighborhood, Melshire area, and the current city council person voted with the big developers, which seems to be a blight in our city, where the city council people are focused on adhering to the big developers who want to increase the density of the city in already established neighborhoods without respect to the current homeowners. As a realtor, I have dedicated myself to helping people enjoy their home ownership, and for somebody to think that with the concern about the zoning changes that are now being talked about in Austin as a statewide mandate. This is a big, serious concern because we don't want Dallas to be another Houston. And we want people to know when they purchase a home that they're in a neighborhood, that the neighborhood environment is to be protected of their investment in their home, and that they don't have to worry about a lot next door being sold to as a quadplex. And this is what happened. This current city council person that I will be replacing, she did not vote in accord with her with the homeowners. She voted and allowed a developer to purchase that land and put in high density small lots in that area, which is going to adversely affect the value of people's homes in that neighborhood. And my function is to be the voice of the people. I recently had some surgery on my foot. I almost did not run, but I had so many people come forward and say, Diane, we will be your feet if you will be our voice at City Hall. And so I've taken that very seriously.
Well, that's wonderful. Diane, thank you for taking some time to talk to us tonight. For those of
Thank
you
you,
that are
Chris.
listening, April 22nd is the start of early voting. May 3rd is election day. If you want somebody that's going to listen to you, that's going to fight crime, that's going to bring financial responsibility to the city, and that will be your mouth if you'll be her feet, consider voting for Diane Benjamin in place 13. Thank you again for joining us, Diane.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate everything that you do for our city as well.
Very
Thank you.
welcome.